Hi there, I'm Dr. Francesca Zampollo, and in this video we talk about a very interesting yet essential topic, food design activism. I've been working on this for quite some time and it's time now to share it with you. I'm very excited about it. If you're interested, stick around. The term food design activism didn't exist until now. This is a new food design subdiscipline within the broader field of food design. In presenting this concept, my hope is to open the field for deeper conversation and meaningful content, offering a framework for designers, thinkers, and change makers to address some of the most pressing challenges in food design. Food design activism is much more than designing better products. Food design activism is much more than social design or design for social innovation, and it's different from critical and speculative food design. Food design activism seeks to address systemic issues like food justice and food sovereignty using design as a tool for activism. I have written a full paper about it that you can download from my website. And in this video, I'll walk you through some of the key ideas and the principles for food design activism that I have highlighted. And I'll discuss why this subdiscipline matters now more than ever. So grab a cup of tea and let's dive into this paper together. The paper starts with an overview of food design activism, which builds on two existing fields, design activism and food activism. By merging these two, we are creating a new lens for tackling systemic issues in the world of food. So first, let's talk about design activism. This is the idea of using design to provoke social, political, and environmental change. It's not just about creating functional solutions, but also challenging assumptions and starting conversation. A quote here from Food Luke sums it up beautifully. Design activism creates counter-narratives aimed at balancing positive social, institutional, environmental, and economic change. And here is a critical point. Design activism isn't just about fixing problems like design in general. It's about questioning the systems that created them. This becomes especially powerful when applied to food systems, which brings us to food activism. Food activism, on the other hand, a branch of activism, a food-specific branch of activism, focuses on transforming food systems to promote justice and sustainability. One example is food sovereignty, the idea that communities should have control over their own food systems rather than corporations. Some of Vandana Shiva's insights on industrial agriculture are highlighted here, showing how destructive these systems can be to both the environment and human health. So what happens when you combine design activism and food activism? You get food design activism, an approach that uses design to reshape food systems for the better through activism. The core of this paper is the 7 principles of food design activism. I will break them down quickly here, and I'll make a separate video about the 6 principles of design activism that I have outlined and proposed, because in the literature there wasn't a list of principles that could guide us practitioners or researchers into what is design activism and not something else. And so I outlined these 6 principles of design activism. And then the 7th principle is specific to food design activism, which of course has to do with food systems. So the first food design activism principle goes like this. Food design activism changes food systems. It's about systemic thinking, addressing everything from production to disposal. And this is the only principle that is specific to food design activism. The other 6 are about design activism and, of course, can apply to food design activism. In this paper, I describe the next 6 principles with the specificity or with specific examples within the food system. So, number 2, food design activism is revealing. This principle highlights inequalities and hidden dynamics in food systems, for instance, exposing how monoculture farming harms biodiversity. Number 3, food design activism is political. Food systems are inherently political, involving power structure. Activism here challenges corporate dominance and promotes alternatives like, for example, community-supported agriculture. Principle number 4, food design activism is contesting. Think about some movements like the Ugly Food campaign, for example. These challenge and contest the aesthetic standards that lead to waste. Principle number 5, food design activism is disruptive. This involves shaking up entrenched systems. Platforms, for example, like Too Good To Go, are examples because they reimagine food waste as a resource. Principle number 6, food design activism is designerly. Because design isn't just a tool here, it's the lens through which activism operates. And principle number 7, food design activism is real. The outcomes of food design activism are tangible, like public food sharing fridges or urban food forests, for example. So the food design activism discipline is a call for action to all food designers who are passionate about food and justice and who want to use their skills for activism. Because this is more than just design, it's about creating tangible change in the world. And if you are as inspired by this as I am, I encourage you to dive deeper into this paper and explore how you can contribute to this growing field. If you're interested in this topic, stay tuned because I will be making another video about design activism where I'll go deeper into the 6 principles that I have outlined for it. And I'll talk about a framework that I have created to clearly differentiate between design activism and activism, artistic activism, social design and design for social innovation, and most importantly, to differentiate between design activism and critical and speculative design, which I think is where most of the confusion can be. As always, thank you for watching this video, and I hope I can hear from you and read your comments. And in the meantime, have a lovely day and happy food design.